Did you know that the future of stop motion animation actually rests in Nike's hands of all people? And it's kind of wild. So the story begins in 1975 with Will Vinton Studios. It was created by this guy, Will Vinton, and he is known as the godfather of claymation. He actually coined the term claymation. And he is best known for doing advertisements throughout the 80s and 90s. He specifically has done the M&Ms, the California Raisins, and the Noid. And when I mean the M&Ms, I mean the red and yellow little ones they use as mascots to this day. He actually designed them. And so after the success of all of his advertisements, what did he want to do? He wanted to make feature films, and he was going to do that. But he had a problem. He needed investors. So where was he going to get these investors, you ask? Well, he had to turn it to the outside world. And so whenever he went, he found this is how Nike comes into the story. So the co-founder of Nike, this guy, Phil Knight, he came to him and said, I want to invest in your company, so let's strike a deal. Here's my son, Travis Knight, who has previously failed a attempt at a rap career. And so he asked, okay, I will give you your investment for your movies and TV shows, etc., if you will give my son a job. And so a deal was struck, and Travis Knight got an internship while at Will Vinton Studios. This happened in 1998. Using that money from Nike, he then went and made 2 TV series. One was called The PJs, which actually starred Eddie Murphy, and the other was called Gary and Mike. Both of these shows did fail, with Gary and Mike particularly only being canceled after only 13 episodes. And so what did he do? He went and asked for more money from Nike. But Phil Knight went ahead and started investing more in the company and actually took over all of the shares of the company, stealing it out from under Will Vinton. Will Vinton actually went and sued for the right to use his name, and he did win that lawsuit, and therefore the company was changed, and it changed its name to Laika, named after the Russian space dog. After going ahead and getting complete control of the company, Phil Knight went ahead and appointed his son, Travis Knight, as the CEO, despite the fact that he had absolutely no business experience. At this time, he also went ahead and hired Henry Selick, who is best known for directing The Nightmare Before Christmas, and they made their first feature film, which was 2009 Coraline. Now, Coraline actually did make its budget back. It even made a profit, and it was very well critically received and did win some awards. At this time, the company was split into 3 divisions. They had their advertisement agency, they had their 3D animation department, and they had their stop motion animation department. And they were originally intending to make a movie with their 3D animation department. However, after the success of Coraline, they actually decided to completely get rid of that 3D animation department, and then they actually spun off of their advertisement agency and had it form its own thing, with the ad agency becoming known as House Special, and they have been fairly successful doing advertisements for Coca-Cola, Apple, Hotels.com, and many more. For their next feature film, they went ahead and started making Paranorman. Now, this one had a budget of $60 million and did manage to make its budget back, but it was kind of considered a mid-failure. Then they had their next film, which was going to be their worst critical success, but it's still not bad. It still has a 79% approval rating, and that is The Box Trolls. Now, this movie barely made its budget back, but it did do so, and they continued with their next film. After that came their biggest critical success, which is Kubo and the Two Strings, but it barely made its budget back, only making $77 million on a budget of $60 million. The next one after that would become their biggest flop, The Missing Link, making only $26 million on a budget of $100 million. Now, this would be enough to ruin most companies, but not Laika, because it is owned and operated by the co-founder of Nike, and because his son is so passionate about these projects, he continues to fund money into it even when they are failures. And this funding has allowed them to continue to make advancements on a technology that was almost going extinct, which is stop motion animation. At the time, it was going out of style, and it's pretty much on its last breath. But for once, because the Nepo Baby wants to do it, they are putting money into it and innovating, and other companies have been able to use that. For example, they have made 3D printed faces. They have also created a software that can mimic puppetry, and many, many more, as well as being able to smooth faces out. They even have another new film coming out this year called Wildwood, which is based on the novel by the same name, and it looks fantastic, and I'm really excited to see it. Usually I do not support Nepo Babies being involved too heavily in the arts, but in this case I do, because they are putting funding into it in a way that is appreciative and shows that they care. And so that is why the future of stop motion animation is tied to Nike. My name is Chelsea, and I hope you enjoyed this chat, and I hope you go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you.